Hi guys, welcome to day 2 of my challenge. I decided to put a little bit more effort into this video, so I'm using my DJI stood up on my desk and I have my actual mic. Still just wearing my clothes, just turning on the camera and talking. I didn't do my makeup or anything, so um, what I wanted to talk about in today's video is something that I was just journaling about, and it's kind of finding a creative direction or a direction for like a creative career path. And I have changed my career path so many times over the past few years, especially when it comes to creatively. I mean, a few years ago, I wasn't even drawing, I was doing calligraphy, and I didn't know that I would want to start drawing and stop doing calligraphy. So, I feel like things can change a lot, especially me as a person. And if you're also somebody that struggles with having a lot of different passions and a lot of different dreams and goals, it can be hard to choose one. For me, I kind of thought starting out with drawing that my path was pretty clear, and now I don't feel necessarily like I know exactly what I want to do. So, for context, I had a calligraphy business and I did engraving on fragrances, usually for big brands like Nordstrom, Gucci, Dior, stuff like that. And then being in the car community, I also saw a lot of people engraving on accessories for cars, like show cars. So, for example, they would do like mirrors, they would do wheels and stuff like that. And it kind of got me thinking that I really want to get into that. And I feel like drawing is a lot more expressive and gives you a lot more creative freedom than calligraphy does. So that's kind of when I decided that I wanted to get into drawing and just art in general as a whole. And then I decided that I wanted to be a tattoo artist because I really value the concept of being able to make my own schedule. And something else that's also kind of the main point of choosing a creative career is thinking almost like backwards about the lifestyle that you want to have and what kind of a career path would support that. And I'm kind of at the point right now where I think I've released the hold on my tattoo artist dream, and I'm starting to be open to different paths and avenues that have kind of come up that are also possible. So one of them is creating products, which is a very common thing for an artist to do, especially one that has, a presence on YouTube, making art and selling their art through, prints, keychains, journals, stuff like that. So that is one thing that I have thought about and I've always thought would be cute. I do also like the idea of the physical social aspect of it. So if I were to be a vendor, say at like an art market or a farmer's market or something, I feel like that's something appealing to me, and getting to kind of show up and set up my station and socialize and stuff like that. That being said, I think especially in the future for a product based business, you have to have a lot of physical space for it, especially if you are the one storing all of your inventory. So that's something that I've thought about as well. When it comes to being a tattoo artist, I think I still really like the idea of it. One drawback that I had was that often you do get creative freedom, but you're also commissioning, right? So other people will ask you to draw something for them that's in their vision, not necessarily yours. And while I still like it, but there are also other drawbacks that I've kind of thought about. The second one is that I don't do so well with wounds, which is kind of funny. Usually I'm okay with blood. Like, blood is fine for me, but if somebody shows me like a cut on their finger or like a skin flap or something, I get like a really weird feeling in my body. And so I kind of realized this a few months ago, and I was like, I don't necessarily know if that is the right career path for me. I've also never gotten a tattoo, so I kind of have to take all of my goals with a grain of salt, but I like that you get to make your own schedule, so if you want to plan a vacation, you can plan your clients around that. I like the potential for travel, and obviously not every tattoo artist gets to travel, right? You have to be pretty well known and respected worldwide to be able to travel and to be like a resident or guest star at like a tattoo studio. I don't know what it's called. But I know a lot of people will usually just travel for a while and tattoo in different cities. And I think the possibility of that is really appealing to me. The other drawback I had is that I have neck issues and back issues. And I think for me, I already know that I don't like being at a desk job because I don't like to sit and stare at the computer, and maybe it's different for making art. I mean, when you're making art, say like, for example, like at the easel, you're still looking straight and focusing for a long period of time, but I think especially with tattoos, you have to be hunched over for a long period of time, and I have thought about that as well. And that's something I think I might struggle with. The third thing that I think about sometimes, and it's kind of like a wild dream of mine, which is kind of funny because I think me pursuing being a tattoo artist was the wild dream of me just 3 years ago. So it's kind of like my levels of what is my maximum keep rising every year, which I do think is really cool because it's like, oh, like I feel more like I can accomplish something every single year, and that baseline keeps growing. But my crazy dream is to open a physical stationery shop / club. And this is definitely the biggest decision of the three. It does take a lot of commitment. It takes a lot of money, a lot of planning, a lot of being there physically. So that is a lot of physical tie down as well, because you do have to obviously be around the store to make sure it's doing well and stuff like that. I also think that's something that probably would be made a lot easier with having a community and an audience built already, because there's kind of a marketing built into that I can use to leverage and introduce the store without just kind of coming out of the blue, without anybody knowing who I am or what the store is about. You know what I mean? So anyway, the point of me explaining all of that is that it feels like it's really hard for me to make progress on my art and choose something to do every single day when I don't have a clear direction of exactly where I'm going, because all three of those things obviously require a lot of discipline, a lot of practice, but they all kind of require different things. And I think it's hard to feel like I'm not wasting time if I don't know exactly where I want to go. But I do know myself as somebody that likes to change my mind a lot, and I do have a lot of ambitions. And it's also kind of like, I was just kind of thinking, like, why do I only have to pick one? Why can't I do everything that I want to do? And I feel like that's a really good mindset to have, the mindset of abundance, and just like, you can do whatever you want to do. You don't only have to pick one thing. I feel like, especially with me putting my experiences and myself out into the world and kind of trying to build like an online community, a lot of people, especially in the YouTube space, like, if people like you, they're going to support you no matter where you are. You know what I mean? So I've just kind of thought about that. I've thought about, like, I think it would be a lot easier if I did have a specific direction to focus towards. But at the same time, I think it's okay to not know the end result or the end goal, and just kind of take baby steps and figure out what sticks for you along the way. But I don't know. I think it's still hard. It's still hard to kind of make goals towards something when you don't necessarily know what exactly you're working towards. So I think for right now, I have a pretty good handle on, I want to make YouTube videos or some kind of online community / presence. And two, I want to have a better relationship with my art. And those two things I can comfortably work towards. And having a better relationship with my art doesn't necessarily mean that I'm getting better. It just means figuring out what works for me and what allows me to make art and not be so stuck up and burnt out about it. So, anyway, just some food for thought. I'm curious to know, you know, what you work towards if you're struggling with a creative direction, especially for, those of you out there that are also working on making videos or some other kind of online community. I I do think also there is a lot of value in just kind of having people to connect with at the beginning, even though you don't know exactly where you're going, but you know kind of the level that you want to be at, and then having people support you along the way and see what you come up with and what you do. Like, even though I know that I don't know exactly what I want to do right now, or like exactly what I'm working towards right now, I know that I'm working towards something, and I kind of know what I want my life to look like. So there's that. I definitely want a lot of time, freedom, and to be able to live in flow with my creative energy and my body and stuff like that. I think being able to travel without being tied down is pretty cool too. So that's also food for thought. I think being a tattoo artist or a content creator, they would both allow me to do something like that and to work online. So anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow. If you're interested in following along with the challenge, go subscribe to my Substack. I'm posting a sketch every single day along with a YouTube video every single day for 75 days. So go ahead and follow if you want to be a part of my journey. If you had any thoughts during the video that resonated with you, feel free to leave me a comment because I want to read it. So, okay guys, see you tomorrow.